This is the second episode of the Path to Data course in Process Mining IQ. In this course, we're talking about extractions. This is how you get the data out of the source system and into the EMS. At the end of executing an extraction, you will have the data in Vertica SQL database in the cloud in Salonis. You'll be able to run transformations on that and then load it into a data model. So we're in our active environment in our aardvark data pool, and in our last episode we set up the MySQL connection to the server. And now we're going to move into the next portion of this data processing. This would be an ETL type of idea. We're now doing the extractions. So as you can see, they kind of have it laid out here. So you see the extractions. Right now we don't have any transformations, loads, all coming off of the data storage. And so that's the Vertica SQL database that's sitting in the cloud. So you click, you want to create a data job first. You gotta give it a name, and then a data connection. Global data connection would refer to, so there's no extraction, so this would defeat the purpose of this video. But what it really is for is really flat file uploads, things of that nature. And so using that is not what we want to do here. We want to do a MySQL connection. That will say, oh, we want to, these transformations, these extractions are for the SQL connection. So save that. Scroll down a little bit. So you see the data job is created here, and it gives you the scope, which is the MySQL connection data scope, and this job, the extraction video. So we're going to go in. And the tasks are the kind of the sub name, some widget of the job. So you have jobs, within the jobs you have tasks. Tasks can either be extractions or transformations or data model loads. So in this first video we're just going to add an extraction. Test, give it a name, and it's going to pop up into this extraction screen. Right away it doesn't have any tables, but if you click add tables, it is going to go in and do the ping to get the query to say, okay, what tables are there in the database that you specified. So right now we just have this test table. So I'm going to click that, click save. And so now it's going to, all the tables are going to pop up on the left hand side here. And you have some information in the center of the screen. So you can configure what columns. So right now there's just one column, a case key, and this would be the primary key. It's important for joining tables, you need to have that primary key selected. So if we were to have multiple tables, this is the primary key for this table. What data type it is, it'll try to automatically detect it, and so string or text. String in Salonis and Vertica is shorter, more of a typical string, and text is kind of long format. So if you're pulling in JSON, you might want to pull in text. Then pseudonymize will use the algorithm that you specified that we talked about in the previous video. It'll use that algorithm to hash this column. We don't want that on the case key, but if there was some PII column, you would probably want that to pseudonymize. So we're going to confirm that. Each time you edit anything, so I added the primary column configuration, it's going to pop up this blue save button. It's really important to save that. I try to do it each time I make a change, just by habit. Otherwise, if you go back, you will lose that. Rename target table, this option. So when you're extracting it, right now it'll come in as just the table test. If you rename it, you'll get the option to say, oh, we want maybe video test, and it'll be saved as video test in our SQL database. Batch size is on the server side, the extractor. How many rows should it pull at a time, basically? Max string length, that's self-explanatory. Limit total records. Again, just if you want to pull only a certain number of records, you can do that. And then remove duplicates. This is really nice. If there's duplicates that are there, you just want the unique values, select that. And then it has some joins and filters. So we're just going to go over it in high level. So join is joining to another table. So if you want to say, okay, this table is kind of dependent on another table, add that. We're not going to do that right now. Time filter is if there is a date column, it'll try to identify that. And you can select either a change date filter or a creation date filter. And that'll put in a simple where clause and then in the query, only pull where this date is greater than or equal to this date. It is important to note that when you do this and you have the creation date, maybe I can pull up something else, but it has a now function. And now literally means like right at that moment of the extraction. Just important to know that. And then additional filters, you can type in text. So if case key was an integer that iterated up, or incremented, excuse me, up, you could put in, okay, a case key greater than 5 or something like that, and skip the first 5 test cases that are in the system. Delta filter statement is each delta load only pull in new rows if this filter query is acceptable, or if it qualifies for that filter. And then extraction preview, it'll pull and do a logs. So right now there's not much data in there. Okay. So you hit execute data job. Excuse me, there's one last thing. It is enabled by default whenever you create one. So if you're creating a test one and you don't want it enabled, always make sure you can go over here to the 3 buttons and hit disable. And it'll change that to no. So execute data job. It defaults to a delta load here if you want to do a full load. Difference is delta load will go off that delta change filter. Full load will pull everything, not just the rows that are new. So you can kind of see here's the extraction. So you're going to execute this. It'll run and bring you to the log page right away, where you can click in and see, okay, it's running. These are the configuration for the data pool, excuse me, the database that it's pulling from, what the version information is, things like that, and then test. So it'll have a query that you can use. Right now I don't have any records, but it'll run and then check that. So this, now you see we have one extraction, and in the next video we'll talk about adding a transformation. I think in the meantime I will have added some rows into the test table. So just pay attention at the beginning of the video, next video, and you'll see that in there. So hopefully this was helpful, and join us for the next transformation video in Path of the Data. Have a great day.